Good evening. I want to welcome you all to our regular monthly meeting of the Portsmouth City School Board. And I do want to apologize for us being late on this evening. We got tied up in the back, but thank you all for your patience. I now ask you please stand now for a brief moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. We do have some very special guests with us here on this evening, and I ask Dr. Bracy to call them up at this time.
Thank you, Chair Patillo. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I would like to once again welcome you to our school board meeting this evening. And this evening we have the pleasure to have Hodges Manor Elementary School present this evening. Let's give them a round of applause. They will be coming to bring us the Pledge of Allegiance as well as their school statement. So students, as I call your name, will you please come forward? For the pledge, we will have Miley Bernier. Miley is in the 5th grade, and she has been on the honor roll every year. Yeah. She was also a member of the Portsmouth All-City Chorus, Sing for Joy. Outside of school, Miley enjoys dancing, singing, and just got a cast as a news reporter with the Hurrah Players. I think that shit. Hurrah Players. Hurrah. She wishes to attend Harvard University to become a nurse. Miley is here with the support of her mom, Tabitha Perea, and parents, any other grandparents. For Miley, will you please stand at this time to be recognized? Also, since Miley has just been cast as a news reporter, it's only fitting that she will help out with the school statement as well. So with the school statement, she'll be joined by Makee Morris, who's in the 5th grade at Hodges Manor. His favorite subject is social studies. He is a member of the Boys to Men Club. Outside of school, he loves playing football. He wants to attend Clemson University to major in social studies and history education. He's here supported by his mother, Shakita McKeithen, and father, Michael Morris. And parents and any other relatives, please stand to be recognized. Tonight, we also have with us another student, Hodges Manor. They said when they come deep. We have Kalia Cowell, who is in the 6th grade. And has been on the honor roll since she started Hodges Manor in the 3rd grade. Good job. She loves playing softball, drawing, and painting. When she grows up, she wants to become an architect and attend Spelman University in Georgia. She's here with the support of her mom, Deshauna Bynum, and Miss Bynum and any other members of the family. Please stand at this time and be recognized. And also representing the administration at Hodges Manor, we have the principal, Dr. Faye Felton, and assistant principal, Mr. Dennis Chalk. Miley, I'll turn it over to you at this time.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Mr. Patillo, Board Chairman, Ms. Atkinson, Vice Chairwoman, School Board members, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone. I am Miley Bernier at our fully accredited school, home of the Mighty Mighty Mustangs. Our school is a great place for fun and learning. Hodges Manor is dedicated to making sure all of the children are successful and we become rising stars of the future. The teachers mold, shape, and encourage us to think and perform at our highest potential. We believe that maintaining a proper and positive learning environment will lead to a high level of success. Our enrichment and after-school programs are designed to help us increase our academic achievement. Tonight, we will highlight just a few of these enrichment programs. Cheerleading. Cheering helps us to develop the best version of ourselves and allows us to seek our greatest potential. There are several benefits to being a cheerleader. Cheering requires time, preparation, and focus. It helps you learn discipline with a direct correlation between preparation, practice, and success. Hard work makes the difference when it comes to being successful. Cheering teaches you to work hard to improve your skills and reach your full potential. This skill helps to further any career path you choose down the road. Teamwork is very valuable and is needed as you go through life. You learn to work together to set long and short-term goals with the building of strategies to accomplish the goals. Teamwork is the dream work. Cheerleading builds positive self-confidence, good self-esteem, and great leadership skills. It is making a commitment during the good and bad times by performing in public, at school activities, and acquiring the skills needed to be successful in and out of school.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi. I just want to do it deaf. They do it.
Catch the spirit and to break it down to it. From up above to down below. Hardest men and Mustangs are here to say hello.
Awesome. Yeah. Woo. Hello, everyone. My name is Makai Morris, the Boys to Men program. The Boys to Men program is dedicated to mentoring and modeling to young men the qualities of manhood that will help young boys to become better students, citizens, leaders, and young men. Our program leaders will provide professional, social, and academic training and mentoring that will help us attain the highest level of academic and personal achievements that we set forth. We explore basic hygiene practices, money management skills, career exploration, and participate and host community service events.
Hello, everyone. I am Kalia. Robotics. Our Robotics After School Club is aligned to the standards of learning for grades 3rd and up. We learn computer science concepts and supplemental subject matter in any content area. Computational thinking skills are developed with purposeful taught lessons included. We learn to break down concepts such as math problems into smaller parts, which we call decomposition. We analyze the objects or ideas by extending or creating patterns to better understand them. We call this pattern recognition. We learn to weed out the important information and ignore the unimportant details, which we call abstraction. And we develop critical steps in order to use them to solve the problems while following a sequential set of rules. All in all, robotics makes the learning of computer science and math accessible through the use of trial and error. By communicating with a partner, by creating games using hands-on and visual experiences, and lastly, we can share our learnings through the telling, sharing, and or writing of stories.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Me and Mike Charles Keegan are going to run some programs. Keegan, take the floor. Dr. Teagan will put the Spiro robot in what we call drive mode.
Good job.
Thank you.
Excellent. I just mind to apply pressure.
Recorder. There are several benefits to learning the recorder in elementary school. Playing the recorder helps with reading and oral skills. The students have to read music on the musical staff and know what notes sound like in order to determine if they're playing the correct pitches. Playing the recorder helps with hand-eye coordination. The students have to look at music and remember what fingering to use while also using their tongue and lips to change the note value. Rhythm. It takes dedication and discipline to learn how to play an instrument. Playing an instrument can be frustrating to students at this age because most students expect to be professional musicians as soon as they play the instrument. The student must practice and not give up. By learning how to play an instrument with their classmates, they are moving towards a common goal of learning how to play a song, which requires dedication, discipline, self-confidence, and perseverance, skills that will serve them for the rest of their lives.
Oh yeah, they had a whole curriculum report.
These enrichment programs are a vital part and asset to our school. Thank you so much for listening.
Dr. Felton, do you have something you want to say?
School board members, Mr. Cardell Patillo, Chairman, Ms. Atkinson, Vice Chairwoman, Dr. Bracy, school board members, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for having Hodges Manor to come and present. The students have worked hard. These are activities and enrichment programs that we wanted to have the children involved in, to give them something else to do after school. They enjoy it. The parents enjoy it. We have many more that are in these groups, but you know we couldn't bring all of them. So these are the ones who volunteered and wanted to come to show you what they can do and how they are being successful at the mighty, mighty Hodges Manor. Thank you.
Dr. Felton, at this time, Board Member Shoemate, she's going to come and have a special presentation for your 3 students there.
Well, I just want to say you all did a wonderful job tonight. Could you give them all a round of applause again? As an adult, sometimes our days get a little bit hectic. Life becomes very difficult. As some people may say, life just start lifing. But this right here is what it's all about. And I really do appreciate you all taking the time to come out to show us why we advocate for you. And we will continue to do that. Thank you so much.
And Dr. Felton, how many kids are participating tonight? Can they stand up again? All the kids that participated? Everyone stand up? Dr. Felton, if you will, just make sure you tell me which day, and I'll come out and we'll sponsor a pizza party and ice cream party for all these kids that volunteered, all right?
With a peacock.
Just, just let me know a good day and we can set it up and I'll make sure I come out and do that.
We gotta be up there after they leave.
Thank you, Dr. Felton, and thank you, students, and all the family members from Hodges Manor.
Wow.
Thank you all again for coming out. And I do apologize again for being late. Thank you all for coming. Agenda item 3.5 is the school board mission statement. Ms. Shoemaker.
The mission of the Portsmouth Public School Division is to engage all students in learning that will foster academic excellence and responsible citizenship.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.6, attendance roll call. Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson,
Here.
Mrs. Boone,
Here.
Mrs. Futrell,
Here.
Mrs. Hines,
Here.
Mrs. Shoemake,
Here.
Dr. Whitaker,
Here.
Dr. Patillo.
Here.
7 members present.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 3.7, consideration of the agenda for April 27th, 2023. Ms. Hines.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to make a few amendments to the agenda. They are lengthy, so I'll go as fast or as slow as needed for clarification. Should I wait until the?
You go ahead.
Okay. All right. So, what I am proposing to do is I would like to take and make 9.2, which is our March Madness reading program, and move that to a 4.2 after our student representative report. I would then like to suggest that we move public comment into the 5 spot and move resolutions to the 6 spot. That way, our audience who's been waiting for us has a chance to go ahead of what we need to do as further business is concerned. 7.1, I would like to remove this item and defer it to our summer retreat. I would like to remove 10.1, which is the superintendent's monthly report. And for our consent agenda items, I would like to break out contracts 8.7 and 8.11 from the consent agenda and make them 8.13 and 8.14.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote. Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson,
Yes.
Mrs. Boone,
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell,
Yes.
Mrs. Hines,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake,
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Dr. Patillo.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Agenda item 4.1, student representative report. Ms. Akins.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Bracy, Chairman Dr. Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, members of the board, and guests. I hope everyone is well. April is Autism Awareness Month. 1 in every 36 American children are currently diagnosed with autism. I would like to take this time to recognize all the parents, teachers, guardians, aunties, uncles, grandparents, cousins, whoever, who takes the time to support these children in their academic and personal growth. You are highly appreciated. We would now like to speak about the responses we received from each high school while doing our survey this month, starting with Churchland High School. Churchland students had many opinions about their school, one being that they do not offer enough options at lunch. They would like more vegetarian options and water bottles as a beverage option. They feel that juice and milk are not enough. The bathrooms are also a huge concern. According to the students, the cleanliness level is sometimes not up to par. Some doors do not work properly, meaning that they do not lock fully, and the sinks sometimes simply just do not turn on. They also miss trucker hour. Now, trucker hour was a 60-minute period where students could eat lunch, study, make up work, or even go to a club meeting. It was implemented in 2019 or 2020 time where I was a freshman, actually, so it hasn't been back in a while. I know a lot of it was because of COVID concerns, but now a lot of it is really just because of behavior. So they really do want it back. They miss it because it just gave them a break, gave them a time to chillax, kind of talk to their friends, do work. And a lot of them miss it because they work or they play a sport after school. So they may not have the time to go to a club meeting or catch up on that homework that they know is due and things like that. So they really do miss trucker hour. The food is a concern in the bathrooms. So that was really it for Churchland.
I will now discuss the Norcom's High School experience. Recent seniors of this year's graduating class have voiced concerns, dislikes, and advantages of attending IC Norcom High School. The biggest problem seen in the survey was the crime rate surrounding the IC Norcom High School. 1/3 of the students rated a 3 out of 10, with 1 being the lowest confidence in safety and 10 being the highest confidence in security. Some advantages listed were the opportunities to start a career and become certified in trades like cosmetology, welding, and pharmacy tech. Within the surveys, one student disliked the state of the track field, as 2 weeks ago, IC Norcom hosted an high school Eastern District meet with the track having potholes within the lanes. I actually competed at this meet, and I became injured because my lane was lane 4, which normally is a great lane for me for 200, but my starting had a big giant pothole, my ending had a big giant pothole. I performed terrible, and I also did long jump that same day, and I feel like the track was like concrete, like I was running on concrete, and my shins are now injured. So that's my personal experience with that, so I can imagine at other schools. And I remember like middle school when we used to compete there, I used to enjoy going to IC Norcom. They had the best track, the best field, everything was amazing, and now it's really was dissatisfactory that it wasn't up to par. But this was the last meet that they will host. They're going to repair it, but I just feel like they should have repaired it sooner so that me and other athletes wouldn't have got hurt that day. Within over 2/3 of the surveys, IC Norcom was praised for its trade programs and how all 3 high schools can participate. Manor High School surveys. According to the surveys, many graduating seniors felt that Manor underwent many changes within the past 2 years. One student described the changes as a chance for the community to become closer to Manor High School. The students were often satisfied with the resources available through the school. However, I was able to speak with the valedictorian of the class, and she reported dissatisfaction with the amount of in-person advanced placement classes. She feels that students at Churchland who were able to obtain a higher GPA than her were more prepared due to the in-person advanced placement classes.
So that is all for our student report this month. Any questions?
Ms. Hines.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies, so much for going out and seeing what we as a school system can do better from the voice of those who have been with us for probably the most challenging 4 years of a high school career. So thank you for that information. Just please make your reports available to us and Dr. Bracey so that we can forward those concerns and address those concerns. Bathrooms are always a big deal. Athletes' safety is always a big deal. So I just want to make sure that we have the material to follow up with those. And once again, ladies, thank you so much. It's much appreciated.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item 4.2 would now be the March Madness presentation. And we have Ms. Miller. I don't think that's part of their presentation.
Not yet, not yet.
Not yet.
Dribble, fake,
Shoot.
miss.
Good evening, Dr. Bracy, Chairman Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, members of the board, and guests. I am Nicole Miller, one of the library media specialists at Be Great, IC Norcom High School.
And I am Christina Murphy, and this is my first year teaching English 9 at IC Norcom. Thank you for affording us the opportunity to share some of the wonderful things happening at the home of the mighty Greyhounds.
The idea of hosting a community read all started during the pandemic. I, as a librarian, was struggling with a way to reach our students, promote literacy, and create a sense of community while we were all so separate. I started a community read where staff members would record assigned sections of one of my personal favorite novels in verse, Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. We shared this staff-created audiobook with our students via email and Zoom, which many of them enjoyed. My co-librarian, Mrs. Bushy, and I even drove around and delivered copies of the book and prizes to many participating students.
This year, the library was searching for the perfect book to use for Norcom's second community read. With the help of the rest of the staff, we selected Kwame Alexander's To Cross Over, a novel in verse about two twin boys who learn life lessons from their father through the game of basketball. You'll see in a minute the initial lack of participation when we pushed out the book in February. So the 9th grade English classes used this novel as a novel study. This began the newly revamped March Madness To Cross Over competition.
Please direct your attention to the screen to see how we turned our miss into a swish.
They're playing back. They're playing basketball.
All around the world. To the beach, y'all. All around the world.
Mystery Reader 1.
If anyone else calls me fresh and sweet, I burn mad as a flame. But I know she's only talking about my game. See, when I play ball, I'm on fire. When I shoot, I aspire. The hoop's for sale, and I'm the buyer.
Mystery Reader 15.
I'm on free throw number 27. We take turns, switching every time we miss. JB has hit 41, the last 12 in a row. Filthy, keep up, man, keep up, he says. Dad laughs loud and says, Filthy, your brother is putting on a free throw clinic. You better. And suddenly he bowls over, a look of horror on his face, and starts coughing while clutching his chest. Only no sound comes. I freeze.
Mystery Reader 31.
Basketball rule number 10. A loss is inevitable, like snow in winter. True champions learn to dance through the storm.
First quarter.
The 9th grade classes used Norcom's version of the crossover for a novel study unit. This not only allowed us to build community, but it helped promote literacy as we did a day of reading. The students ended the unit developing their own verse of something that was personal to them.
Second quarter.
My name is Jade, and I enjoyed reading the crossover because I love playing basketball and the characters look like me.
Third quarter.
My name is Caleb Liggins, and I really enjoyed the symbolism throughout the crossover.
Greyhounds, March Madness the crossover is officially in the books. Thank you to all of the classes, students, and teachers who participated in our competition. In total, we had over 176 students and staff listen to the book. Way to go, Greyhounds. For more books by Kwame Alexander, swing by a library near you, like downstairs, first floor, across from our cafeteria. And now is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's announce our winners.
Team Tate claimed the first spot with 60 points. Team Cartwheel came in second with 46 points. Team Vaughn is the third place winner with 43 points. And Team Avis rounded out the top four with 42 points. Honorable mentions go to teams Painter and Woods, who were close behind, and our runners-up.
These classes will enjoy a special celebration this Friday of food, treats, basketballs, and books. Again, congratulations to the winners and all classes for participating in this year's Community Read competition. We will be back again next year with another book.
Fourth quarter.
My name is Azrael Rouse, and I really enjoyed the format of the competition and how we read the book. It was really engaging. I thought it was cool.
Overtime.
My name is Jeremiah, and I loved that experience because I got to meet a famous author, and it was on my bucket list.
Welcome in the house.
And I did that, and I told him to remember my name because I'm going to be famous.
This is what I learned in Chesapeake. This is what I learned in Mills Mills. This is what I learned in Rock Park. This is what I learned on Sundays. This is what I learned on Saturday nights. This is what I learned from my mom and dad. Dribble, fake, shoot, miss. Dribble, fake, shoot, miss. Dribble, fake, shoot, miss. Dribble, fake, shoot, swish. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Ian, and I thought meeting Kwame Alexander and getting my book signed was pretty cool.
Hi, my name is AJ, and after reading Kwame Alexander's book, The Crossover, I learned that, and it has taught me that no matter what, even though how many times he was told no and how many times his book was not published, he kept trying and rewrote it and trying and rewrote it and did everything until he finally got a yes, and look how far that took him.
Dribble, fake, shoot, swish. As you can see, a lot of preparation, hard work, and assistance went into planning these events for our school. The astounding number of students reached throughout this event expanded beyond 176 to include all ninth grade English students, classes who read the book in Spanish, and students who received special education services read a book about basketball where specifically designed instruction and accommodations were made for them.
Thanks to our project being fully funded by Donors Choose, each student in the Final Four classes and 2 runner-up classes totaling 124 students walked away from the court with books by Kwame Alexander and other basketball prizes. The most rewarding moment for me was when a young man that I had never seen step foot in the library approached me and asked, "Do you have any more books by the man who wrote The Crossover?" You might recall from the video when Kwame Alexander asked if Norcom was in the house. Well, we were, and we were so loud that he followed with Deep Creek. Y'all hear that? Challenging them to be as loud and as excited as our Greyhounds were.
And as a new teacher here, one of the most significant rewards for me was after the day of reading, my students kept asking, "When's the next one?" Thankfully, to the overwhelming support of our Norcom staff, we initially had over 60 volunteer readers, which was way too many for this book. Because of this, we have more than enough staff members to record another book and are excited about making this an annual school event.
Once again, thank you to all who supported our vision. We brought thank you cards for Chairman Patillo and Vice Chair Atkinson for your gracious donations. We plan to submit a proposal to present at an upcoming statewide library conference to represent IC Norcom High School and Portsmouth Public Schools by sharing how PPS shines together through literacy and community. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. After I went to the school and I saw what you were doing, they'll tell you I came back to the board meeting and I was just bragging and I'm like, man, students want to read and they're being forced to read. That's a great thing. And I'm sure Dr. Foster on that video, that was like shot 1 of 12, I'm sure, that he actually made. But thank you all for your commitment to our students and to reading. And one thing I was having a discussion today with someone from probation and parole was that, our students are amazing. They just lack exposure. And what you did was give them some serious exposure by taking them to see Kwame Alexander and exposing them to that book. So thank you all so much for your dedication.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I guess y'all was just that great. Thank y'all so much. Ms. Hines.
Thank you, Chairman. In my amendment of the agenda, I meant to include 9.1 in here as well, so we can get more students home and in bed and ready for another wonderful day at school tomorrow. So if there's not any objection, can we move 9.1 up to now to let some students go so they can go home and get some well-needed rest? Because,
So we do have a motion to amend the agenda again. I have a second. Second by Ms. Futrell. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson? Yes. Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Board.
We'll now move to our monthly curriculum and instruction report. Dr. DeVries.
Yep, so that one got moved up to, yep. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, school board members, and Dr. Bracy. In your packets, you have information from the Department of Curriculum and Instruction highlighting the amazing student and teacher work across the division this past month. And this evening, I would like to introduce our visual arts coordinator, Mrs. April Taylor Martin, who is going to showcase and recognize some of our very talented Portsmouth Public School student artists.
Thank you so much, and good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I had an idea to bring some voices of students to you. So I did a survey, and I asked the students just one simple prompt, and that is, what does art mean to you? So I want to start out with that presentation. Yeah, thank you. And thank you to Brandon Mitchell for helping me put it together.
Art is all about expression and how you see yourself. It makes me feel comfortable and creative. I like art because you can do so much with it. Whatever you are going through and emotions can be expressed through art.
It's the power to express emotions and concepts in ways words could never do.
Art is a reflection of culture and society, as it is a way to interpret the world around us. It can serve as a tool for political and social commentary, as a means of challenging power structures and promoting change.
Art brings me happiness. The things that makes me happy is the colors and all the activities we do.
Art means you can draw your innermost thoughts without saying a word.
To me, art is the perfect example of your imagination is the limit. To one person, art can mean life or one's mind.
Art is a way for me to express myself in the most accurate way I know possible. My creativity, mixed with my mind and my ideas, contribute to the pieces I create.
If any of the parents and teachers and students who are involved in making the video are here tonight, I'd like to have them stand and be recognized. So far this school year, we have had 2 juried exhibitions of our K through 3rd grade students and our 4th through 6th grade students. And I have left you with an invitation to our middle and high school exhibitions, which will be at the book club. We've also had several other exhibitions, and so far this year, I did some brief math, and we have exhibited over 300 works of art so far this school year, and probably by the end, it'll be more like 450.
Wow.
So, without further ado, I would like to present awards of merit to students who won first place awards in our competitions this year. Would Cadence Watkins please come up for her certificate kindergarten exhibition first place award? Riley Brinkley for her first grade first place award.
That's kindergarten? Wow.
Miss Isabella Diaz, first place second grade award. Miss Lucy Dell, the third grade first place award. Miss Clara Hansen, fourth grade first place award. Caroline Mixon, fifth grade first place award. Mulaney Velasquez, sixth grade first place award. Miss Viviana Phillips received the Supervisor's Choice Award for having the, third grade. Is that right? No, this is Caroline Mixon. Sorry. Viviana Phillips won the Supervisor's Choice Award for having her image on the postcard.
Wow.
Seth Hurd had the Supervisor's Choice Award for having his image on the postcard. And Axel Soto also got Supervisor's Choice Award for having the image on the postcard of the Fine Arts Festival. And also he got second place for the sixth grade.
Wow.
Congratulations. Thank you all for your time, and I look forward to celebrating with you the award winners and recipients of our middle and high school at the event that will be at the book club on June the 7th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. You guys come out and join us. We also have a Gifted and Talented Expo, and we will have some of our students' artwork displayed there on the event on May 3rd. Thank you so much.
Wow.
And also, can I recognize my teachers who are out tonight? I have several teachers who are here. All right. For all their hard work and dedication.
Thank you so much.
I know I can't draw. I have my phone. I can't do any of that. Right. Stick figure neat, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're at agenda items 6.1 and 6.2, non-agenda and board agenda public comments. Madam Clerk.
Yes, we do have speakers for non-agenda items.
Okay.
As part of the school division's dedication to full transparency and collaboration in decision-making, the school board of the city of Portsmouth allocates time for public comment at every regular meeting of the month to hear directly from citizens on matters of public concern regarding Portsmouth Public Schools. If you wish to address the school board, you must register with the clerk of the board ahead of the scheduled meeting start time. During public comment, each speaker will have 5 minutes to share their comments with board members. Speakers are not allowed to yield their time to another speaker, and they are not to make any formal resolutions, declarations, or proclamations as part of their comments. Speakers are reminded to maintain decorum and respect while addressing the board. Specifically, no individual personnel, student or family members should be named in comments, as speakers are at their own risk of violating confidentiality laws and are defaming the subjects of their comments. Neither the school board, the superintendent, nor school administration will respond publicly to any comments by speakers. A written copy of speakers' comments can be left with the clerk of the board, and any matter requiring a response will be directed to the superintendent and school administration to be addressed as needed. As the school board opens to the public comment, the audience is asked to be respectful of all speakers. Our first speaker is Mrs. Lena P.
Good evening.
Good evening. I believe you guys were sent ahead of time 3 images. I had emailed ahead of time so that you do have those. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, my name is Lena Poksheva. I have 3 kids, 1 at Churchland Middle School, and I have 2 at Waterview. Might as well get straight to it. Image 1 is a song by Big Bar, 4 Big Guys, is the title of the song. These words are the first 18 seconds of a song that was played in my daughter's 6th grade classroom. The horseman who played it in his class was using his school-issued Chromebook. It was 1 empty seat away from my daughter. The horseman was named the Horseman from the 6th grade teachers. They named a group of 4 boys the Horsemen. They're the ones who seem to get in trouble a lot. My daughter was 1 seat away from the boy singing and swaying to those words. Once, he was tried to be redirected by the teacher, only once. Now read those words again, because then he played it again. Read the words again. He played that song 6 times, only redirected once. That was on March 17th. On that day, I told the principal. I also sent an email to ask superintendent, which got to Miss Lewis. I did on March 29th have a Title IX meeting with my daughter and the Office of Title IX. April 3rd, we were told the details did not arise to the level of a Title IX complaint, so the case was dismissed. Think about this. If a man tells a horrifically offensive joke in front of 4 women, none of those women are allowed to be offended, and they're also not allowed to feel harassed by those words. That same day, I received a phone call from the principal saying that it was not sexual harassment. It was improper use of a Chromebook. The horseman did not lose a day of school. Regular classroom, he was in it every day. He was there every day. It took over a week and a half for him to be switched to a different homeroom. On March 24th, image number 2, a second horseman asked my daughter those questions straight to her face. This is the text that my daughter sent me. I had her text me it so that I had documentation from her words. And then we talked about it. On April 19th during recess, the music playing horseman called a first grader over from his playground and told him to smack my daughter in the butt. So he did. While the two of the horsemen were standing there laughing, pointing at my daughter, talking about how she had just got smacked on the butt. She was too embarrassed to say anything. So her friend told the teacher, and the teacher then talked to Dr. Neal. The teachers gave these kids free cards, free roam, by naming them the Four Horsemen. They condoned everything they did by giving them the name the Four Horsemen. They were proud of that name, and the teachers allowed it. Image 3 was April 17th, during the Civil War lesson. The kids were asked to watch a 3-minute YouTube video in which one of them was talking about buck beating. The teacher then paused the video to explain raping. And in that 2 to 3 minute discussion, this is a classroom of 11 and 12-year-old boys and girls, this discussion happened. But where I just want to know where the discussion is in the curriculum, where it teaches that in the curriculum. This is from the same teacher that says, I got demoted and now I'm stuck with y'all on a regular basis. He tells these kids that. The code of conduct failed my daughter by not including electronics in the harassments. Page 86 and 87 of the student sexual harassment. It says graphic comments about an individual's body, sexual jokes, notes, stories, drawings, gestures, or pictures, displaying sexual objects or pictures, cartoons. It doesn't say Chromebooks. It doesn't state anything electronic. So this code of conduct failed my daughter because he did not get in trouble for that. He finally got in trouble when he persuaded a first grader to do it to my daughter. This should not be allowed. It took 29 days from the day the music played to the day he got expelled.
I'm sorry, Ms. Polk, your time is up. Thank you so much.
I'm here on behalf of Waters Middle School. I have 2 children attend there. The security and the safety of my children are at risk every day. My son had a knife pulled on him. It took 2 weeks because the teacher was on her cell phone for that child to be found with a knife. Something got to give at Waters with the safety. I am scared to send my kids, but yet I get a truancy charge if I don't. The communication with the staff and the parents, that principal will not talk to no one. He has the vice principal call the parent, or the other vice principal to call the parent. He never reaches out to us. And the reason is he knows I made 12 phone calls to get here today. 12. I even called the secretary of the superintendent. I never got a call back. This is ridiculous. Our kids are hurting. My main priority is the safety of these kids, not just mine, all them kids at that school. It's bad. The safety is bad. I can show you videos recordings, everything. My kids have it all and have sent it to me. It's so bad at that school with the safety. And that's my biggest concern at that school. My other daughter attends Norcom. I have no complaints. No complaints. That's all I really wanted to bring up.
Thank you, Ms. Askew. And just to clarify, so you have not been contacted as of yet?
I was contacted by the vice principal apologizing for the delay.
Can you give your information to Lauren?
Okay.
So that we can make sure that you get
Yes.
communicated with?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Gordon Jones.
Good evening.
Good evening. Chairperson Patillo, Vice Chairman Atkinson, school board members, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, good evening. My name is Gordon Jones, and of course you know I am the current president of the Portsmouth Education Association. I am also a loyal 30-year veteran of the school district. This evening I stand before you with some concerns about our motoring educators, our bus drivers that have come to my attention. There seems to be some devastating issues that they face daily that keeps them from performing their duties that they have been hired to do, with the love and loyalty within them. If I may, just for a moment, quote a very famous author and legendary actress who penned for several years on television a phrase we all know, heard, and love. Picked by Sophia Petrillo. Picture it. Picture it, Portsmouth, 1971. An eager and scared little third-grade boy stands on the corner of Deep Creek Boulevard and Lincoln Street, waiting for a big yellow bus to pick him up for the very first time. Before this, he only had to walk around the corner to attend his neighborhood school of Emily N. Spong. As the bus pulls up and the sound of the air brake scares him, he grips his mother's hand tighter as the door opens, and there's this a pretty lady with a smile big as the sun, who comes down from her seat, gives him a great blow pop and a gentle hug and says, "Let's go to school and have some fun and learn." My driver was like my mother, making sure I not only got to school and home safely, but also reminded me of why I was going to school, making sure I represented my home well as making sure I left her bus each and every day with a smile. And although I don't ride the bus today, I know many of the bus drivers who do, and I can say that for a fact, have the same type of driver that I had when I was a little boy some years ago. And it still exists within the group of hardworking and dedicated ladies and gentlemen of today. Now, let me share some information about our bus fleet that I recently became aware of. Portsmouth's bus fleet is the second worst fleet in the state, with a 62% vacancy rate. This means just a little over half of our 160 plus buses are currently on the road. Yet, our students are getting to and from school safely every day. Why? Because our students, why? Because we have drivers that are dedicated and who care. Picture this. The Virginia Department of Education has stated in a report that 82% of accidents and incidents among our fleet just last year were preventable. Preventable. What could have possibly made it hard for our drivers to attentively focus on what they have been trained to do all of a sudden? Well, tonight, several of those drivers are here to paint a picture of what is really going on in the trenches of the bus fleet. I ask you, no, I implore you, no, I beg you to not just listen to what they have to say, but hear what they're saying. Let me also let you know that they are not here to gripe or cause trouble. They are here because they love what they do. But the conditions upon which they are working are not fair for all. And please keep in mind the words of that famous kindergarten song that I love to teach my children when I taught kindergarten. The wheels on the bus go round and round. If we don't do something about their working conditions, we may be singing this tune differently. The wheels on the bus won't go round and round. We need to think about what's going on and listen and hear what they have to say. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Brenda Wynn.
Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Petilio, Chairperson, Ms. Atkinson, Superintendent Dr. Bracy, school board members, gentlemen and ladies. I came today because I want to talk about the hostile environment that we bus drivers are working in. We have a liaison that was just promoted on yesterday he went to supervisor. And what is going on is that it's a lot of retaliation going on out there. What happened was I spoke to, matter of fact, I have some letters that I want y'all to get. Oh, okay. Oh. I spoke to the Chief Human Resource Director and the Auxiliary Director. And upon speaking with them, I think some of what I have said to them have went back, and the retaliation began. The liaison has, he's doing supervisor stuff that's not even should be done by him. His job simply say he is the liaison between the between us and the supervisor. But what he has been doing, he has really tore up the unit. What he did, he took all the buses from my lot, which is the TRT lot, and moved them to different lots. We don't even know why he moved them. All we know is that he moved them, leaving our lot short. When we went to him to talk about it, he did not want to talk about it. He actually made it worse for us. I have been with Portsmouth Public School for 11 years. So today he came and told me that he was not giving me a monitor anymore. I have a special need run, and it requires a monitor. So he told me he was taking my monitor away. The reason why he was taking my monitor away was because my kids didn't need it. Now, grant, I have 11 students. Whether it says it needs a monitor or not, my kids get up and they move around. Just think of me having to stop my bus, get out of my seat, and load up these kids and put them in seats. Sometimes we are on, like, George Washington Highway, Victory Boulevard, streets where we can't take a lot of time, but it takes a lot of time to put these kids in a seat. Well, he also said that he's gonna not allow me to have a monitor anymore. Also, I have 22 corner-to-corner stop with kids that are in alternative school. Well, I went to him and the prior coordinator, and I told them of a bomb threat. Instead of them not putting the guy on my bus, they put the guy on my bus, as if they were saying that it doesn't matter what he does to you, this is what we're gonna do. And when I went and talked to him about it, it was like, he retaliated against me. I mean, and it's every day, it's something different. We don't even know why we spread it all about. The other thing is, most of the drivers, that when we came in, we was asked what lot we wanted to be in. So that's the lot we was in. He moved them all like in Churchland and the Manor lot. It caused a hardship for us. Some of us depend on our extra money. He also made it that we could not, he also made it like it was a good move, and it wasn't a good move. What he did was he said that Dr. Bracy, I'm sorry, Superintendent, he said the superintendent made that position for him and gave him an amount of $55,000, which is fine. I don't care about that. But be fair with us. You call across the radio, and you know that we have long runs. My second tier it takes me about an hour and a half to run. You already know that's a long run. Why are you calling me and asking me what's my ETA? You know what it is. It's a long run. He did it. It took him close to an hour and 45 minutes. No kids should be on that bus that long. And he does not get it. We cannot talk to him. We cannot go to him and talk to him for no kind of reason. And it's like everything we do is wrong. And my thing is like, now that he has moved up to this supervisor position.
Excuse me, Ms. Nguyen. Your time was up. If you want to take another minute to finish, you can go ahead.
1 minute. I just want to say that I think they put a Band-Aid on the problem and they promoted the problem. That's all I want to say.
Ms. Atkinson.
Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. Just want to follow up regarding this letter, just to be sure I'm seeing this correctly. So how often is students seated for per chair? Or it says students are seated 4 students per seat?
Because we are doubling up and tripling up.
Okay.
He took my 4th tier, which I had 43 kids, and put it on another bus, 231, last week. So this bus now has 63 kids on this bus. And as of yesterday, he said I could not get my run back when we have a girl that's out sick. He said when she come back next week, I could not get my run back. I had 43 students. Why compile all of them on one bus?
Okay.
Why can't I get my run back?
Okay. And since you're speaking, is the cameras working on your bus?
You know what, ma'am? I don't even know that the cameras work, because don't nothing hardly work on none of the buses.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Chairperson Patillo, Vice Chair Atkinson, school board members, Dr. Bracy. My name is Lisa Freeman, and I am a school bus driver for Portsmouth Public Schools. I have 26 years of service here in Portsmouth, and I also serve on the advisory committee. I'm here tonight with my coworkers because it seems our concerns about our jobs as a school bus driver in Portsmouth have fallen on deaf ears for months. We have sent a letter of concern, a demand letter, and at the advisory meeting, some of us have poured our hearts out about the working conditions at Portsmouth Public Schools the past couple of months, and yet nothing has changed for the better for the drivers and the monitors. School board members, as of yesterday, our problem was promoted instead of resolved. So based on current practice, we can expect retaliation because we are here tonight. I'm speaking tonight of the former liaison that is now interim transportation supervisor. We had been dealing with constant disrespect and bullying from the former liaison for months now. We get chastised at every safety meeting we attend about our communication on the radio, yet it seems to be acceptable for him to do it to the bus drivers. We demand that this behavior from the former liaison cease and desist now. The unnecessary stress placed on us is making it very difficult for us to feel comfortable behind the wheel. It has destroyed morale and is taking a toll on a lot of us. This job always demands our full attention for the safety for ourselves and for the students we transport. One of our drivers was written up for comments from the former liaison that said something he said over the radio, even it was proven not to be true. That situation still has not been made right for our driver. We are in constant fear at work of who's going to be next, or what's going to happen to a coworker today, or will there be any retaliation for speaking up? We have lost senior drivers, and a lot of employees are looking to other cities for job opportunities elsewhere. Some are ready to toss in their keys if the working conditions at Portsmouth Public Schools don't improve now. We have lost both our supervisors in the past month. Also, our days consist of making sure our buses are road ready early in the morning. We are dealing with a shortage of not enough drivers daily. Most of us do a double run for 1 or 2 or sometimes 4 of our schools, which causes the students to be late either in the morning or the afternoon. This means we are rushed to get the students to school safely or to get them home safely, yet constantly being asked by the dispatchers, "Where are you?" A school bus driver's job these days consists of a lot of different titles. We are the first person to see them in the morning. We console them when things aren't right in their world. We must deal with fights and bullying on the bus, students standing while the bus is moving, some drivers being cussed at by students, throwing things at us or out of the window, all while keeping our eyes on the road and constantly looking up in the mirror to see what's going on behind us. It's a big job that we all do daily. I believe going forward, we need monitors on every bus for our safety and the safety of the students. We are constantly sent left and rights to our personal cell phones. We all know that using a cellular device while driving is illegal, and we don't want to lose our professional CDLs over. We should never be put in that position to disobey the law for a job. Yes, this is an ongoing problem. As you know, last week, with the threats at the schools, we were called back to work in our off time to take students home. On that Wednesday, the 19th, we were waiting to load at Waters. The radio communication by the former liaison was just plain rude to our office staff and drivers and distasteful. In these types of situations, we deserve to be met with calm and efficient direction so we can do our job safely for the students. We had to listen to the disrespect, and so did the students once they boarded the bus. I'm sure if any tape was pulled from any bus, you would hear the same thing. That's why we have that technology. It protects us and the students. We have always showed up and done our jobs with class and dignity. We deserve to be treated as the professional employees that we are. Without us doing what we do every school day, there would be no need for Portsmouth Public Schools. We always rise to every occasion for Portsmouth Public Schools. We make PPS shine too. Tonight, we are demanding for you to put a cease to the unfair treatment from the former liaison toward our drivers and monitors. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Susan Moore.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Chairperson Patello, Vice Chairperson Atkinson, school board members, Dr. Bracy, and ladies and gentlemen. My name is Susan Moore. I've been a PPS driver for the last 21 years. I was part of the first advisory member a year ago. I'm a mom of 2 girls that went from kindergarten through high school, both graduating from Wilson High School. Now have 2 granddaughters going to Simonsdale Elementary. I'm speaking tonight on job insecurity. Talking with my fellow drivers, we feel very anxious about the way we've been treated and the possibility of losing our jobs. We've already seen 2 bus drivers asked to resign from charges brought up by the former liaison, now our interim supervisor. We've also seen our 2 supervisors asked to retire or resign or were fired. We don't know because that information hasn't been brought to us within the last month. We are constantly being harassed on the radio. When I had a serious concern about a bus stop, a parent called me and let me know that there was a body at the bus stop, active crime scene at the bus stop, and I was carrying elementary students to that bus stop. I called on the radio to my liaison to help me with the situation. Gave him my phone number so we didn't have a conversation over the radio. He blew me off until another driver 15 minutes later radioed me over the radio and says, your stop down Dunedin is blocked by police. I answered that driver saying, yes, I'm aware of it. It is an active crime scene. That is when our liaison decided to take action. While I was already working with Dr. Shepard and the principal at that school to find an alternative stop so those students wouldn't get off the bus and have to walk by a dead body at that bus stop. So the liaison who is supposed to be working with us doesn't take action unless it was broadcast that it was serious. Just a few weeks ago, a group of us bus drivers had sent a letter to Dr. Bracy, Ms. Durham, Dr. Simmons, Dr. Patello. We wanted the immediate cease and unlawful disciplinary actions against drivers and monitors per Virginia Code 22.1/315, which has been conducted by, at that time, the acting non-supervising liaison staff member, now our interim. He has written up a number of drivers and monitors without investigating fully these actions, only to resend those letters once the investigations were done. This is making the rest of us drivers very nervous. What is going to be the next action and who is going to be in the line of fire? The conversations on the radio, from my personal view, is I'm listening to him chastise another fellow driver, and my mind is going, following that conversation instead of following the road. I'm trying to follow the road. I have missed turns. I've missed students standing up there because of the actions on the radio by this gentleman. Us bus drivers and monitors are family. We fight and argue and bicker with each other like any family or sibling. But when one of them is picked on by non-family members, we have their backs. We're going to stand up and do what's right for our fellow drivers and monitors. It has already been said about what happened Wednesday. What seems to be our major issue and problem has now been promoted. I know for a fact that I have one foot out the door and looking for another place. I am loyal to, I don't want to leave a place that I love. For one thing, I see my granddaughters every day taking them to school, but I would have to give that up because I am not going to be at the risk of losing my job for some action by this gentleman. I'm having anxiety attacks, which I've never had before in my life. It is to the point where I don't want to come to work in the morning because of the stress level. At this time, I'm having a hard time figuring out how I can work for this man that I do not respect. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you.
Miss Dion Bazemore.
Good evening, Chairperson Patillo, Vice Chairperson Atkins, school board members, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. My name is Dion Bazemore, and I have been a bus driver for Portsmouth Public Schools for 20-plus years. I come to you this evening to speak on the morale of my coworkers. The opportunity to become a school bus driver, I'm a little nervous, was presented to me at a very sensitive time in my life. Me and my 5 children were homeless. We were forced to live in a shelter. The opportunity was presented to me, and I jumped on it. In saying all of that, the career I loved and enjoyed has now become a stressful and depressing atmosphere. I'm a little nervous. When I say stressful, I'm saying the lack of concern for my coworkers' safety and health has been ignored. The constant harassment of elder drivers, bus 283, and the untrue accusations of drivers, bus number 237, that has not been proven true, and the power has caused a division between drivers and office staff. The mistrust comes from the pulling of cameras off the bus to listen to private conversations between the bus drivers and monitors. It is done so to violate our rights and use against us when we don't adhere to the former liaison's demands. Where there once was a family unit is now torn to pieces because of the lack of communication and the disorder that is now transportation. The enjoyment, the excitement of doing a job that is so important to Portsmouth's children is no longer that. The whole morale is at an all-time low. As a department, we were all used to doing meetings together as a whole. I'm getting emotional. Now, as a division and morale destruction, they are separate with different information given to each other. The sad and humiliating thing is now the problem has been promoted. At this point, with the downright ignoring the issues and the concerns of my coworkers and myself, the slap in the face has caused a rift in transportation. I end this saying, my coworkers and myself demand a solution to this problem with effectiveness and experienced leadership that can be helping to build transportation department back to the effective department that it was 20-plus years ago. Where the morale, the unity, my family was evident. In saying this, school board members, as of Wednesday, our problems promoted instead of being resolved. So based on current practices, we can expect retaliation because we are here. Thank you for hearing my coworkers and myself. Concerns. I am confident that addressing these concerns, we can bring the transportation department back to life where it was 20-plus years ago. Right now, we're beating dead doors. We're beating our bodies. Mine is torn up. My rotator cuff is torn up, but I love driving the school bus. I love dealing with the children. My nickname for my high school kids is Mama D. They call me Mama D. I have parents that will call me like I've been out. Are you okay? Anything you need, we got you. Because I know when you pick up my children, I can go back to bed and be comfortable and know that they made it to school safe and that they're going to make it back home. This is not just a job for us. This is our life. And our life is being ripped and torn and stepped on and ignored. And it's not fair. It's not fair. We are transportation. We are educators. We teach when they get on board. Some of those children have had the worst day in their life, and they talk to us because we're the first one they see. They may not have had breakfast, and we give them breakfast. They may not have a belt, and we give them a belt. We are their parents when they board that bus. We have to protect them. And I just thank you for listening.
Ms. Futrell.
Ma'am, I'm sorry. First of all, thank you so much. Thank you all for coming out, and your passion definitely speaks for itself. Just a quick question. When you spoke to harassment, you mentioned the pulling of tapes.
Yes,
ma'am. Is that the...
The tapes, as far as I know, the tapes are supposed to be pulled when there's an altercation on the bus.
Right.
Or if a parent calls in a complaint.
Right. So then the question is that the only thing that you're deeming as harassment in this particular?
No.
Okay.
We have elder drivers that has been harassed. I've been out for a while dealing with health issues. And when I came back, I was a monitor because I couldn't drive at the point in time. And I listened to the former liaison dog, like talk horrible, disrespectful to an elder driver that has been driving 40 plus, maybe 50 plus years.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Paula Gibson.
Good evening. Good evening, Chairperson Patillo, Vice Chairperson Atkinson, school board members, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paula Gibson. I have been a school bus driver for 24 years, and I am also on the advisory committee. I was on the advisory committee last year, and I was chosen to be on the advisory committee this year for the transportation department. We have been going down this road since 2013, fighting for fairness, equitable treatment, respect, and our pay. Please don't think that we are not grateful for what has already been done, but some things are just unacceptable and won't be tolerated. Since our advisory committee has been implemented, things have gotten better for the most part, and we were in a good place until October of 2022. The changes that had taken place started with our routes. No one would tell us who was responsible for the changes. The liaison was saying it was the zone leaders changing the routes. The zone leaders were saying that it was the liaison changing the routes. So we decided we needed to have things clarified for us. Once we had our next advisory meeting, it was suggested that we may be able to meet with the chief of schools. We met on November 8th, 2022 to get clarification on what the liaison's duties were, other than what was sent in an email from the coordinator. The outcome of the meeting was it should be what was in his job description. In February of 2023, myself along with 2 other drivers were called into office accused of sitting on the clock, stealing time for Port Town Magic. One driver has been there since Port Town Magic had started in 2005. the other driver since 2012, and myself since 2020. I got called down again, accused of stealing time for my midday, when there was an email sent out on February 1st, 2023 by my zone leader at the time stating, per the Director of Auxiliary Services, we would still be receiving 2 hours for midday. I received a text from my zone leader asking, why was I on the clock after 5 when on that day I had a double for my 3rd tier that went into my 4th tier. I also returned a cell phone to a student at a stop at 5:15. And since I was moved from the TRT lot to the Churchland lot, now I will have to travel from off of Airline Boulevard to Churchland, where my bus is now housed, which I explained this to her as well. So how would you feel having to go through all of this? But in our safety meeting, I was chosen for Employee of the Month. I was confused. Are you? Because if you were doing something wrong, you wouldn't be given Employee of the Month. When I should have been celebrating being chosen, I felt disappointed. My character and my integrity was being attacked. Having to work under these conditions is very stressful, especially when you're dealing with your own personal problems. And for me, I went from a loss end of 2022 into 2023, I lost 7 family members. So having to deal with this and also being faithful, coming to work every day, it's hard. For school board members, as of Wednesday, once again, our problem was promoted instead of resolved. So based on current practices, I can expect more retaliation because we are here and I am here tonight. But lastly, we are adults and would like to be treated in that manner with respect, dignity, whether you are a bus driver, a monitor, a router, a dispatcher, a secretary, a librarian, a teacher, in maintenance, custodian, a crossing guard, a cafeteria worker, security. We are all a part of this PPS journey. So please help us to keep it shining bright. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Hines?
Ms. Gibson, you're the 3rd or 4th person to mention this word, and I do want to say thank you for being here. But the word that really bothers me and is under my skin tonight is retaliation. And so my question to you is, what type of retaliation are you expecting just from being here tonight? When you say retaliation, what is that going to look like from your perspective?
Having my routes doubled up. The last advisory meeting that we was in, when we met with the chief of schools, I was called by my zone leader and was told that I had to double back when I had already had spoken with the liaison about being overcrowded because we understand that they don't want us to go back, but sometimes it can't be helped. Now, in this day and time, 2023, the kids are our size or even larger, so we cannot get the amount of kids that we used to back in 1999, 1920 on these buses. And even with the newer buses, they're making them smaller. So we understand that, but when you make changes, you have to make it make sense. And we're trying to tell them that the students don't want to be crowded because they'll come and get on the bus and they'll see that it's crowded and they walk off. But then we're held responsible for it. We can't be held responsible for that because we're already telling you that they don't want to be crowded on the bus. So just being told that you have to double up. Like now, I have to do a double for my middle school for Waters. They moved that driver to another school. So now I have to do her run, which I don't have a problem with doubling. That's what I'm here for, to help. We are all here for is to help. But when you're taking drivers and consolidating, and then you're having drivers to sit that don't have a school, and they're just waiting to be called to cover, you're still making it hard on us because it's more work for us, because we're still taking us longer to get my run plus whoever I'm taking to where they need to be. So we're just asking, we just need help.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Miss Julia Bailey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
Maybe I should be saying good night, huh? We're ready to go home. I'm going to make this fast. My name's Julia Bailey. I'll give you a little bit of background about me. I've lived in Portsmouth my whole life. I work at Hampton Roads Community Center. I've been there 6 years. We're happy to be at the new location. I have a daughter that does go to Waters Middle School. And my heart really goes out to all those students and the teachers that attend there day in and day out. It's a roach-infested school, as it's been for years. That's nothing new. Communication, as you've just heard earlier, is very lack of. Girls' bathroom, big issue. We have no metal boxes or even plastic boxes in the stalls for the girls to put their sanitary napkins in. They have to take a wrapped up napkin, if they've been taught to even do that, to a trash can out into the hallway in front of all their classmates. That's just unacceptable, and that's if the girls are changing because they're so embarrassed. The other issue is the stall doors are way too short. Videos are going on in the bathrooms. They're being posted on a Waters Middle School page for everybody to see. People are being harassed on this platform. Something needs to be done about that. This one hits close to my heart. It's the Lavac Family Service Center. I believe that all children and families should be able to have this help regardless of their insurance. My daughter is not being able to use this service because of her insurance, because she has Optima insurance. It's only for Medicaid students. I do believe that that is a problem. I pay for insurance. I do think that she should be entitled to use that service because she needs it in the school system. That's when she needs help, is because of the bullying is out of control there. Stuff is being thrown at her daily. I just feel for all the students. Ever since like COVID-19, our country and our schools have gone downhill. Because we just don't have the capacity to help the behavioral health system. I look outside my work office and I see day in and day out of how much Portsmouth is hurting. We are a hurting city. We all see that. I am hoping that you can guide me, you guys can guide me in the right direction as to what I can do to help other children with problems with the Lavac Service Center if they do have commercial insurance. And also, too, is this casino going to bring in money, revenue towards our school system? I greatly appreciate your time tonight. If you have any questions.
Ms. Bailey, I just want to address, when you mentioned the bullying of your daughter, has that been reported and addressed already?
My daughter, because she is Caucasian, she's very scared to speak up because the minority is African American. And if she does speak up, let me back up. She has taken it to her her guidance counselor, but the guidance counselor does tend to make it sound like she's provoking it. The communication is very bad there, so it makes it to where the children are scared to speak up, regardless of what color they are.
Okay.
So these kids need help.
Okay, is there any way that you could make sure you give your information to Lauren so that he can
Absolutely.
further do
Absolutely.
that? Thank you. Ms. Atkinson.
Thank you so much. Can you refresh me on the sanitary napkin issue again?
You know how, like just as in these bathrooms here, they have a plastic white box that
Right.
is next to the toilet. These girls don't have this. They have to take this sanitary napkin and throw it outside of the bathroom hall, out in the hallway, in a trash can.
Okay, so you're basically saying no trash cans are in the bathroom?
There's no trash cans in the bathroom at all. There's nobody monitoring what's going on in the bathroom. I mean, these kids are out of control there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Brenda Joseph.
I'm asleep. I wasn't planning on coming down here tonight. The school system is costing me $125. I could be out there driving for Uber tonight, making $125. But I'm down here because I told you last month about the door being open at Churchman Middle. The door was open again this past Monday at 8:57. I did talk to someone over the principal, and she assured me that that door would not be left open again, because he was out there moving the cones in the parking lot and left the door propped open. But my concern now is, I was told Monday that this child that I have, her homebound teacher was going to have her work Monday. The homebound teacher, well, the other teacher called me today, and I asked her, and she kind of hesitated, and she said, yes, she has it. Well, 4 o'clock today, the homebound teacher didn't have it still, and that was for Monday. The homebound teacher has had no work to do with this child all week. I've had 14 children in Portsmouth Public Schools. I didn't have but 2 of my own. Everybody else thinks I'm supposed to raise theirs, including my brother and his children, grandchildren, all this. She's my last one. It's number 14, that's it. But something needs to be done, because y'all going to pay this teacher every hour she's sitting there doing nothing with this child. And I resent anybody calling my child a kid. Y'all are all educated. I don't have a kid at my house. That's the goat. I have a child at my house. And as far as you asking me why didn't I drive again, listen to them. When I drove a bus, I brought home $400 and some a month. When I broke down, what did I have to do? I had to get off the bus and walk to make a phone call. We didn't have radios or walkie-talkies or nothing on my bus. That's right. That's right. But something needs to be done, because this child's on homebound till school gets out. She needs her work, got to the homebound teacher. Matter of fact, I've already told the homebound teacher, I'm going to school Monday morning. I hope the door's not propped open. If it is, I'm going to get another phone call. And I'm going to get her work, and I'm going to take it over to Lakeview myself and give it to the teacher so she can work with this child. Because Churchman Middle does not want to, don't want this child back at school anymore. No matter what her grades is, they've already said they're passing her. She's going to high school. So she needs some work to do between now and then. You know, like you said, some of them know me. No, I won't never drive a bus again. No. That's why I quit in '93, because it was already getting bad then. But if I don't get the paperwork Monday, I'm going to call down here till I get hold of you, Dr. Bracy, and try smiling sometime.
Miss Jeanette Brooks.
Good evening, school board members and Dr.
Good
Brace.
evening.
Do what now?
Mike,
It's been a long time since I've been here, so I don't know what to do. And I don't recognize a lot of, because like I said, for years, I used to come here a long time ago, bringing forth issues. And you know, the school board member have helped us with a lot of things that we had going on. We didn't have radios back in the day. When Mr. Duck was here, we ended up getting the radios, we ended up getting insurance and all the other things. I'm a school bus monitor. I've been here since 1986. I'm about to turn 78. And I've worked with, you guys have, like I said, the school board members have done a lot to better the situation, but some other things need to be done. As far as, like the other speakers have said, pay is one of the issues, and it's been raised a little bit, but you see how things are going. You look at gas, you know, I'll tell you about that. Gas is going up like I don't know what. But our concerns are as well about the morale. How is it that you can be accused of doing something that you didn't know you were doing? I was accused of, like she said, stealing time. Well, I've been doing this for a long time. The other supervisor said we were supposed to do this, sit here this time, and in case we needed to be, you know, called on. And without letting me know ahead of time that the rule had changed, that I needed to go back to clocking out at a certain another, just wrote me up. Just like a child, you would tell a child, hey, you can't do that. They didn't do that to me. They just wrote me up, put it on my record. So I was really crushed about that. I've been working here for 37 years as a loyal employee, and I didn't think that was fair. And a lot of things questionable that's going on as far as, like some of the others were saying, the lots are, the drivers and the monitors are being pulled from this way to that way, and you never know one day to the next where you're going to be pulled. I was on a bus, like one of the drivers had a double run. That meant we had put her kids on the bus and another set of kids on. It was a lot of kids, so it was like crowded. And of course the cameras work, because I know I've had instances where I've had really bad things going on, and the write-ups are very important as well. A whole lot of write-ups. Have you wrote up? He said, yeah, I wrote them up. So a lot of write-ups, meaning then the threatening, Norfolk CSAP and Portsmouth CSAP. I work for Norfolk CSAP, and those kids have, I looked it up before I wrote this down. They have behavior problems as far as I asked the little girl, she's a new girl, like, why are you here? Because I like to fight and I like to walk out of the class. When I'm like, why do you, so they can't control themselves. A lot of them can't. But they're at the school to learn how to control themselves. But when they're in the mix with others that are not controlling themselves, they do the same thing that they're doing. So, but with my kids, like I said, 37 years, I try to work with them, I try to talk with them, and try to let them know this is not the way to be. One of my kids are laid up now. He can't move, can't do anything. I had one that died because they thought being bad was good. But we try to help these kids. And what about my safety? The new little girl told me, after she went up there and beat this boy out, I'm like, you shouldn't be. And what did the other boy, she had muscles too. She said, what if I say, if you do, I'm gonna call 911. She said, and then she kind of backed up a little bit then, but then they didn't think that was the thing to do, was call 911. They think I was to fight them back. The boy said, can you lift your leg up? I lift this one up, but I can't lift this one because I got a sciatic nerve going on. So the threats, the possibility that they might do something, because one of the kids, they finally kicked them out, was talking about gangs and guns and all that. They like stuff like that. They use a lot of, on the, you think the girl was saying, it was posted on her phone where she had this gun. This is not my gun, it's my boyfriend's gun. But see, our safety and the safety of the kids is what's important. Cell phones, as far as what they say, when you send a text to the cell phone for the routes and all, I had the cell phone in my hand. Every time I turned around every 3 seconds, the phone went black. How could you tell the driver what was on the phone? She couldn't hold it and drive, so I was looking at it to tell her where to go. Have you ever had a phone that just went black all of a sudden? I don't know how to change that. Somebody, electronic. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another issue. And my great-grandson said, boy, I was late
By the time I got to school, it was an hour late. I missed my class and all like that. He was upset because the buses are late because they're having to do double run, take one, go back, go get another one. So that's another concern of the drive. Safety is one, and another, what was I gonna say, co-workers are really upset. You go to work, you wanna talk and sound, it's like, man, oh, one monitor just quit just like that because it was such traumatic. It's stress. You know what stress do to you? It makes you sick. And I think, oh, I'm sorry, did I go over my time? But like, I know you guys can help. You guys have helped in the past. I can name the things that I've been helped with because I continue to talk to you guys. And one more thing can I say, and I love this. When I used to come here before, our buses were parked in an area where there was crush and run. I looked up that crush and run will kill you. They finally paved the parking lot. And then guess what they did? They had a mark where you can park the buses at. I love that. But you guys, you're laughing at, but that's good. But my co-workers, we need some help. We're stressed. Like you said, I lived I'm at a TRT lot, and they had to move me all the way up to church. One time they moved me, and I had to go clock in and no clock in 2 different places. Okay, you guys.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold on. Yeah.
So we're on the 8.7 or the resolution? I think we're on the resolution, yeah.
6-1.
6-1.
Agenda item 6.1 is consideration of a resolution recognizing Teacher Appreciation Week, May 8th through the 12th, 2023. Dr. Cromartie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Vice Chair, members of the school board, Dr. Bracy. Whereas teaching is a most honorable profession, one which all Americans know well from personal experiences, and whereas the National Education Association and the National Parent-Teacher Association spearheaded the annual observance of National Teacher Appreciation Week, which commenced in 1984. And whereas National Teacher Appreciation Week, May 8th through the 12th, 2023, recognizes educators' significance to our nation's future and to our students' future well-being. Now therefore be it resolved that the Portsmouth School Board convey its profound appreciation and heartfelt gratitude of Portsmouth citizens to all involved for their diligence, zeal, and care for our city's young people. And be it further resolved that the school board salutes the division's teachers for the most important role teachers play in educating our students, and that the school board designate Tuesday, May 9th, 2023 as National Teacher Appreciation Day. And be it finally resolved that this resolution be made part of the school board's official records and minutes, and that copies be sent to all administrative units and schools.
Motion made by Vice Chair Atkinson, second by Ms. Hines. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson? Yes. Mrs. Boone? Yes. Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemate?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Agenda
you.
item 5.2 is a resolution for recognizing Month of the Military Child.
6.2.
I'm sorry, 6.2. Ms. Nolasco.
Whereas the Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia and the Virginia Board of Education recognize the month of April as Month of the Military Child, and whereas the Commonwealth of Virginia is a member of the Interstate Compact on Educational Opportunity for Military Children, which addresses key issues encountered by military students, including enrollment, placement, attendance, eligibility, and graduation. And whereas military-connected children and their families can move on average every 2 to 3 years within the United States or overseas, disrupting academic routines and friendships. And whereas military-connected children provide unique and valuable insights on learning, friendship, service to others, and heightened national or global awareness. And whereas throughout its 23 schools and centers, Portsmouth Public Schools has 5% of its student population that is military connected, and as such works closely with liaison officers from the local military installations to provide supports for students' unique needs. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of the City of Portsmouth recognize April 2023 as Month of the Military Child and encourage all schools and offices to continue to show appreciation with activities to honor our students from military families. And be it finally resolved that this resolution be made a part of the school board's official minutes and that copies be sent to all administrative units in schools.
Approval. Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Vice Chair Atkinson. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake? Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 8.1 through 8.12, consent agenda items. I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion been made by Ms. Shoemake, second by Ms. Hines. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemake?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 8.13, contract for government management, VBPS contract 5111-1 for workplace solutions furniture. I entertain a motion at this time.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Hines, second by Ms. Shoemake. Any discussion?
Yes.
Vice Chair.
If it's the consensus of the board, agenda item 8.13 and 8.14, could we defer that based on the conversations that we had in closed session? 8.13 was uploaded prior to our meeting, 1 hour prior to our meeting. And I think 8.14, we need clarity on the research that was done on that as far as the vehicle. So if we could defer that, move to defer that.
Okay. Right now, we currently have a motion on the floor. We will have to either vote on the motion or remove the motion and then vote to defer it.
I'll withdraw the motion and see what the deferment is.
The motion could be amended pursuant to the rules of order. So if Ms. Atkins would like to request that the motion be amended to include her changes, she could do that.
So I would move that the motion to, the original motion be made to defer 8.13 and 8.14 for further research into the contracts and give time to review 8.13.
And the other one.
No, that's just these two. 8.13 and 8.14.
So we have a motion on the floor to amend to include deferring 8.13 and 8.14. We have a motion we have an amended motion to defer voting on the contract 8.13 and 8.14. And we still need a second.
Second.
Second by Dr. Whitaker. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Boone?
No.
Mrs. Futrell?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
No.
Mrs. Shoemake?
No.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Dr. Patillo?
No.
4 noes, 3 yes.
So we go back to the original motion?
Yep.
So I need to make it again?
Yeah, you need to restate the motion.
Okay. I move that we approve agenda items 8.13 and 8.14.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion second by Ms. Shoemake. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson?
Actually, I do have discussion, Chair.
All right.
So regarding 8.13 and 8.14, Just want to notate on record that these two contracts per our MWBE administrator was recommended not to move forward because there is available MWBE businesses available. 8.13 is a furniture contract. The board did not receive that PDF in our board docs until 5 p.m. According to our MWBE administrator, 91 MWBE vendors listed in EVA with 12 in the Hampton Roads area, including 4 additional women-owned and 7 minority-owned companies that can supply office furniture was noted. And also for 8.14, there were 4, according to our MWBE administrator. So just want to notate to the public that this was a recommendation. The research was done on these contracts, and that according to our MWBE administrator, we did not do our due diligence, and her recommendation was to bid this out for RFP. And with our program that we have in place, this is a part of our aspirational goals. 8.13 is a $50,000 contract. 8.14 is a $1.2 million contract. These dollars could have been sought out to eligible vendors. Also noted that 8.14 is actually a 7-year contract. So the board is bidding for that contract for 5 years with 1-year renewable, so which means this contract is not going to be open again to 7 years. Just wanted to notate that. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Mrs. Schumate? Yes. Dr. Whitaker?
No.
Dr. Patillo?
Yes.
4 yes, 3 no.
Thank you so much. Agenda item 10.2, board member comments. We'll start then, Ms. Shoemaker.
Thank you, Chairman Matillo. I'm going to make this very quick because it is 9:50 something. I'm tired, I can't see. I just want to thank everybody who came today and expressed their concerns. You have been heard. We appreciate that. This is the platform for that. And what I want to do is just kind of reiterate the importance of how things work. I know most already know, but let me just go ahead and just kind of refresh some people's memory. So we are either elected and or appointed board members for Portsmouth Public Schools. Dr. Bracy, who is the superintendent, actually is the boss of the division. However, he reports to us. Everyone under Dr. Bracy reports to him. There are no outside entities, nor are there any elected officials that are not sitting on this dais to give any type of orders or request without going through the proper channels. We have committees here on Portsmouth Public School Board, and we're here to help. We even have a program that states that. And so if you have something that you would like to bring to the board's attention, please feel free to refresh your memory. Go on Portsmouth Public Schools website and see who serves on which committee, and you can come talk to us. And from there, we can formulate a suggestion that will be brought to the board. From there, we will vote if need be. This does not mean that you go around the board or Dr. Bracy to go to any of his employees. And I hope that I am very clear about the hierarchy of Portsmouth Public School System. I feel as if this should be respected and this should be noted. None of us would go to any other outside entity and demand or request something without Dr. Bracy and or the board knowing. So with this, I hope that this has been an educational moment, and I hope everyone takes heed to the information that I have provided. And we are all here for any type of questions and or concerns that anyone may have moving forward. Thank you so much, so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'm trying to say this because I was going to hold back on saying this in public, but I guess at this moment, I'm bothered being a committee member because it was told to me, and I'm putting it out there since everybody's putting everything out, by 2 Portsmouth Public School employees that I wouldn't have enough votes to pull this contract. And this person, well, these 2 people were correct. And now I'm gonna be dealing with a power struggle because it's always gonna be that situation. But that's what was told to me because they overheard that. So I really feel some type of way at this moment because I'm always gonna be in a situation now where I feel like an employee versus a school board member. Thank you.
Ms. Hines?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to amend the agenda one more time to go into closed session to discuss personnel, and we can just dismiss from there. No need to hold anybody that we don't need in for that discussion.
All right.
So I make a motion, we go amend the agenda for a closed session item.
You have to read the actual one.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, we're reading
All right.
the actual one.
Well, we got to vote on the amendment first, correct?
Yes, a second.
We have a second by Ms. Futrell.
Right.
Is there any discussion? Roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson,
Yes.
Mrs. Boone,
Yes.
Mrs. Futrell. Yes. Mrs. Hines.
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemate. Dr. Whitaker.
Yes.
Dr. Patillo.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
I move that the board enter into a closed meeting under provisions of section 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia for the following purposes: consideration of various personnel matters, including the assignment, performance, and resignation of specific school employees as permitted under subsection A.1, and consultation with legal counsel concerning a legal matter requiring the advice by such counsel as permitted under subsection A.7.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Madam Clerk.
Ms. Atkinson.
Yes.
Mrs. Boone. Mrs. Futrell.
Yes.
Mrs. Hines.
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemate. Dr. Whitaker. Dr. Patillo.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
All right, we're now going to closed meeting.